Hello, this video is going to provide an overview of the main thing that we'll be learning this semester revolving around web design, web development, is we'll be talking and working with HTML5 and CSS. Now, frequently in the class you will hear me mention HTML5, HTML, and XHTML. For the purposes of this class, we're going to focus on HTML5, but there are things from XHTML and HTML that are the same in HTML5. So being that this is the first semester that I've taught HTML5, if you hear me say XHTML and HTML, I'm not switching subjects. I do mean HTML5. So there's that, and then there's CSS. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. HTML is like an HTML5. It's like it's the structure of the website. It's like the skeleton of the site, and CSS is what makes everything pretty. So it's like the clothes. It positions everything. So it moves your content around the page to where you want it. So instead of Google showing up in the upper left corner, it shows up here. That probably has to do with some CSS positioning. And that's really the foundation of everything that you'll be working with as a front-end developer for web. There's a lot more to know about web. I mean, there's things like JavaScript and PHP and all of that. We'll touch on some things that use a little bit of JavaScript later in the semester, but really our main focus is HTML5 and CSS. So I'm going to show you a site that the reason I'm taking here, everything here is built off of XHTML, and again, HTML5 and XHTML do the same thing. Their syntax and the way that the things are written is a little different, but the concept of what they do is exactly the same. Again, skeleton of the site. So it's going to mark up the content that you've put in here. So again, csszengarden.com, and in here, we have this area. So when I look at the code behind the scenes, I might see that this is a header, and that's a header, and these might be paragraphs. I don't know. I don't have this code memorized. And this whole section might be in what's known as a div or a division. So it's breaking off a section of the page. And then this might be a div over here. And things are, like I said, a little different with HTML5. Instead of maybe divs, there's different tags to signify different areas of the page to help search engines and browsers understand things even better. So let's take a look here. I'm just going to show you this code, how I got to this view here. You can't do it yet. You will be able to in most likely the next video, but if you'd like to see the behind the scenes code, until then, a lot of times you can go to view and you can go to page source, which I don't have here, and let me see if it shows it anywhere in this browser. Tools, and doesn't look like I have actual page source on here. I know it's here, it just depends on the version of Firefox. I can get to it because I have a plugin installed, but let's just have a look real quick at what we've got behind the scenes. And so right here we have a div, as I mentioned, this right here. That's a division, this is a division, this is a division, and then we have an H1, and so that is most likely this right here. And H2, the beauty of cascading style sheets, the beauty of CSS design, that's right here, or the beauty of CSS design, that's there. So those are headers, and then in here, you got a quick summary. So it says a demonstration of what can be accomplished visually through CSS, on and on. Well, that's this right here. And so that's broken out into a division called quick summary, and in there you see here is a paragraph, and here's a paragraph. Now if you're worried, because I'm flying through this really quickly, I don't expect you to know these tags right now. We'll be learning them as time goes on in the class. So I'm just showing you a quick glance of what HTML looks like. Now if I remove, and you probably won't be able to do what I'm doing right now yet, you will soon. If I remove all CSS, remember the CSS is kind of like the clothes of the skeleton, makes everything pretty, moves everything around, tells the browser how to make things display. Now you see it's just text, and you do still have all that code in the background. You have the divs and the paragraphs and things like that. But as far as visually, you just have this text here, and this is a header, this is another type of header, so this would be like the most important header, second most important header most likely, third most important header, and then the paragraphs. So the two work hand in hand, HTML5 and CSS. And in the next video, I'm going to talk to you about the tools, some of the tools we're going to use besides Dreamweaver to learn how to or to work with coding websites.